UESI and local churches, because we are the bridge. I go to a church and I introduce UESI. I make the people to pray. I make them to understand what it is UESI stands for, and goes on. We build a better rapport. We try to keep our homes open homes, and I don't need to explain that. We introduce UESI to other students and graduates. By extending a hand of fellowship, especially for the newcomers to our place. We run after them. Do you need help in locating a good church, or maybe to find a place to stay, and to tell them where to buy what, and so on. Various ways we can be helping. We volunteer. We lend a book or a cassette or a CD or any resource material for those who are in need. We continue to be in touch with our old EU students, maybe through letters, phone calls, emails, chatting, whatever it is. We plan and visit the students in their hostels and graduates home even when there is no program, and goes on. These are all few indications. It's not exhaustive. It's only few examples I have given to make it clear what are the signs of owning the ministry. Now, what are the symptoms that we do not own the ministry? Symptoms of not owning the ministry. You know, in UESI we have different varieties of people. You know, some are like kites. If you do not keep the string, it goes off. And some are like kittens. Every time you have to be patting on the lap. You put the kitten on the lap and pat, they are happy. You know, there are some like that. Some are delicate darlings. Some are like football. We do not know which direction it bounces. And some are like balloons full of air, ready to blow up any time. Some are like trailers, cannot propel on its own. You have to be always pulling. Come on, brother, today is Friday. Oh, it's Friday. Oh, come on. You know, you have to, every week you have to tell that. No one need to tell him that Saturday he has to go for marketing, that he knows. But Friday to go to EGF Bible study, you have to be telling. There are some are like tube lights. You do not know. Come, goes, come, goes. Okay. We involve only when someone calls us, or when we are in some leadership position. Otherwise, we are only spectators. This is an indication that we are not owning the ministry, my friends. We become critics. You, EU people. The minute we start talking you, EU, probably we are not owning the ministry. We involve only when things are convenient and comfortable. We are like delicate darlings, reacting to even trivial matter. A small matter is enough to kick off. You know, face swollen, reddish, angry, and finding fault. What is EU without you and me? There is no EU. It is you and me. UESI is that. And it's a family. We want to have our own way in everything. We are not prepared to consider others' view at all. There are some in the fellowship think that there is only one view. There cannot be a second view at all. What I think is right, and it should be implemented, because I am the president of EGF. Well, we are biased sometimes, even now, in language, caste, and so on. We start counting the cost in terms of money, time and energy. And when it hurts, we withdraw. We want to be everywhere, some of us possible. Want to be the local coordinator of FMBB ministry and the area coordinator of IEM ministry and so on. You know, at least about 10 ministries, maybe some of their letterheads are full of, you know, designation of various ministries. There is no problem about that, provided you have time, energy and money. Otherwise you cannot do justice, my friends. It will be like a fox entering a vineyard. If God specific calling for me is UESI ministry, and if I go somewhere else, I will be entering the vineyard like a fox. Similarly, if God's calling, specific calling is for you somewhere else, if you are coming to UESI ministry, you are like a fox in the vineyard. Better to quit. Better to quit. Make sure where God wants you, because you cannot lay your hands everywhere, finally to be nowhere. You know, at the end of the day when you come back, you would feel guilty. EGF man is asking, you are not coming. FMBB man is asking that you are not involving. And the church is asking, you are not there with the youth program. In how many places you have to be? You have to be God, to be everywhere. Then, some of us don't feel accountability. We say, I am accountable to God. I am my boss. No. We are accountable to one another. That we should be realizing. When there was no king, everybody behaved as they like. Judges, last chapter, last verse. Accountability is well built in UESI. And some of us are developing a habit of not forgiving others. I have come across some of very peculiar situations. We do not forgive. I don't understand. If we do not forgive, how do we expect God to forgive us? We cannot forget things. Well, we are not ready for reconciliation. These are all very bad symptoms that you are not owning the ministry. Well, it goes on further. Now, what are we in owning them? Where are we in owning the ministry in UESI? There are almost 15,000 EU students, 5,000 graduates, and about 250 staff workers, an approximate number. The network of graduates in UESI is something, fantastic. I have talked to some of the IFES movements, and many of them don't have that infrastructure. Many of them. And it is hardly one or two countries have this infrastructure. Fantastic. In spite of that, we lack leaders to take care of the Bible study. Sometimes even in the state level, we go on putting the same person again and again. That is one area. Other area is finance. You would have read the last issue, December issue of In Touch. It says, we have no money to pay for the staff for the rest of the months of the financial year. That means the khazana is empty. We are having such a big network, but still we have no leaders, enough leaders. We don't have enough money. Then where are we in owning the ministry? Well, in fact, I can be talking about various things, but now I will restrict myself on treasure. This is one of the areas of stewardship. There is, now, when we say we have no money, probably many of us do not really own the ministry. Giving to God, fundraising, utilizing the money what is raised, all part of stewardship. So we spend the rest of the time on the specific area of stewardship, treasure. Now in the Bible there are 500 references are there on prayer and 500 references on faith, less than 500. But there are 2,000 references on money. Jesus spoke more about money and possessions than that about heaven and hell combined. Out of the total 39 parables given by Jesus, 16 parables are related to money. Why so much about money? Because it has its own power. Jesus knew this. He addressed this power as mammon. To many, money is more than a medium of exchange. It's something to be sought after, to be gained, to be hoarded, to be stored, to be converted into other forms so that it will maintain its value. Jesus' point